All right, welcome everybody. It is October the 6th, and we are going to be talking about Free Toast today. Our speaker today is Adam Franks. He's an Advanced Communicator Silver and Advanced Leader Bronze. He's also the Area G4 Director. Please help me welcome Adam, and he will be taking away talking about Free Toast. Thanks. Go ahead, Adam.
Good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is Adam Franks, and I am going to show you some of the features of the Free Toast websites that is available to all clubs for free. And the purpose of the site is it gives you a common interface to run your meetings from and keep everything organized. And when it first started out, it was a glorified meeting agenda website. But as time has progressed, they have added a lot of new features. You can manage your members, you can manage guests. You take all the information from your guest book and put it into Free Toast, and it gives you the ability to send emails and to contact them. You can handle your mentor and proteges through the website. It also keeps a directory of information that is available to the members. And there is a new feature set that has been added that actually gives you some treasurer do functions. So you can send out reminder emails, and if you actually are able to take online payments, they can even pay directly through those emails if you set it up correctly. I will be doing a screen share here in just 1 second. And I will walk you through the website. And then I will spend a few minutes at the end explaining to people that do not have Free Toast websites how to request them, and also give you some information about people that you can reach out to once you do request it. And there is a whole support group for setting up and managing your Free Toast and getting your questions answered and that sort of thing. Let's start our screen share. The website I'm going to be using for demonstration is the Hanford Toastmasters website, which happens to be my home club, and I helped set this page up, so I'm fairly familiar with it. As you can see, there are templated sections to the website. This area right here is fully customizable. However, down here at the bottom, this is templated, and all of this information flows across all the different Free Toast sites, just to help give it a universal feel so everyone sees the exact same thing. So I'm logged in as a member, so let me go ahead and log out. Once you have everything set up, you can log in as a member. So I am Adam Franks, and you'll notice that it actually fills in the information here from, I'll show you where this information is actually stored here in just a minute. And then I sign in with my super secret password, which you cannot know. And now I'm logged in as a member. And when I logged in as a member, I actually got access to a members only area down here. So you have your meeting agendas, which was the bread and butter of this site to start with. So this is the meeting agenda for October 9th, which if you notice, today is October 6th. So this is our next meeting. We meet on Wednesdays. And I have right off the bat a couple of options here. First one is, are you planning to attend the meeting? Yes, I am. I'm going to be at this meeting. Maybe I might make it, maybe not, or no, but I will be at the meeting. And if you'll notice, we have some open spots. If I wanted to sign up for an open spot, I could click sign up right here, and it would add me as the backup evaluator. So I'll click it now. And now I am listed as the backup evaluator. I can also take myself off. I will show you how to configure this form here in a moment. This was set up by our Vice President of Education, who is Dennis Ham, who is actually on this call. Down here at the bottom, though, if you know you're not going to be at the meeting, if you're bringing a guest that maybe people should know that is coming, you can put all kinds of meeting notes here from yourself and update them, and this will actually show up to everybody who looks on the form. Or if you're bringing pie and cake and soda, might be nice to tell everybody as well. You can go back and look at your other agendas. One of the cool things about the agenda here, though, is say you are giving a speech and you're speaker one. Sorry, I have to log in as site admin to edit this section. If I'm not the person who's actually speaking, I don't get to see the role. Here we go. So say I was Jeff Nicholas, who's speaking as speaker one. I could go in and type in my speech title. This is my title. And I could type the introduction that I would like the Toastmaster to use when he introduces my speech. Now, if this is a Pathways project, I can actually choose which speech it is. So say it's the icebreaker for dynamic leadership. And if I click this button, evaluation form, it actually opens the evaluation form in another window, and I can print this off instead of having to dig through the path to find the evaluation form. That is very, very handy. If you go through here and put in all your information about your speech, you can actually go back and look at any of the prior agendas. So let's go back 2 weeks here. And if you'll notice there, oh, sorry, that was our speech contest. That one doesn't help. And of course, nobody filled out their information. But if they do fill out the information, they can go back and see what manual they worked out of, what speech they did, what their title was, what their introduction was. And there's actually reporting built into the website. If I remember which button it is. Is it this one? No.
It's the silhouette, the head.
This one. Okay. Thank you. So you can actually pull a report for yourself and look at all of the speeches that you have given for the entire year. Or you can modify how long you pull it up for. Well, if you notice, I've given 4 speeches. Now, one speech, apparently I did not enter the information, so this does not help me. But here I gave 3 different speeches, so I can see when I gave it, how long it was, what my title was, what project it was out of, and if I was wondering if I'd given that speech, or especially if you're still working out of the manuals, if you manage to lose a manual, you still have the information about the speech that you gave. And again, there were other things you could pull. You could pull the member role report and see all the different roles that you've done for the year. Which I was speaker, table topics master, did word of the day, did a secretary's report. Since I'm the secretary, that shows up on all of them. Was a counter grammarian. And that helps you fill in those roles that maybe you did a role before it was time in your advanced communicator your advanced leader manual, or in one of your paths, so that you can go back in and fill that in. So like I said, this was the bread and butter of the site when it first started, was being able to edit this. The Pathways ability to print out your evaluation forms is new. The company communicator manuals and the advanced manuals do not have that same functionality. It's only for the pathways. And then there's also a quick roll sign up. If you know that you want to give a speech on a certain date, like say I want to give a speech on November 6th, I can actually just go here and fill in, oh, it looks like everything's filled up that day, so I can't give a speech. So I can go back in and find a different date. Oh, everything is full. But just a quick and easy, so you don't have to dive through and try to find it, you can actually just set your information up here. You can do the meeting notes from here and all that information. So diving into some more features, as long as you have permissions, I will show you the permissions console here in a minute. But there are email addresses that you can have access to. Members at HanfordToastmasters.org. This will actually send an email to every member in the member roster. Officers will send to your president, BPE, PR, PM, your sergeant at arms, your secretary, your treasurer, or you can send to individual officers. This cuts down on there having to be so many private email accounts that everybody uses. If you email president at HanfordToastmasters.org, you email the president. It doesn't matter what person it happens to be at the time. Now, these are public addresses that can be emailed. There are some that are not public email addresses, like contact at Hanford, pardon me. Former members, guests, prospects, those can only be emailed from the email address that you have on file. So what happens is if my email address is adam.franks@gmail.com, and that is what is listed in my profile. If I send an email from adamfranks@gmail.com to members at HanfordToastmasters.org, it will email all of the members on the list. However, I have another email address that's adam.franks@live.com. If I email from that email address, I will get a kickback email saying you are not allowed to email this group. That stops people from being able to spam the email addresses. So here, if we go into the membership management, this is where all this information is stored. So all the members that are listed here will get the ability. So if you send an email, we'll go to it. Prospects, this would be your people that didn't join, but you would like to see. Guests would be the people who have visited the club. And again, if you send an email to that guest's website, you will see that information. I'm not leaving that screen up very long because there's information on those. If you set all that stuff up correctly when you're getting ready to have like an open house, you can quickly send an email to all of your guests, all of your prospects, all of your former members, if you keep all that information up to date. And then you don't have to try to keep track of it one at a time, and that makes it so much easier. There's also the treasurer function here. It's real quick. You just enter in your club name, the name of the person who can accept the checks at the meetings, what date it needs to be done, how much it is for your club. And then you can actually preview the invoice here. So if there's anything you want to change, you can actually change it down here on the bottom. Like in our club, we actually accept check, cash, credit cards. So we can put the information there for credit cards. If you were using something like PayPal or another service that actually gives you the ability to pay online, you can actually put the link that they could click on to go pay online in there. Right here, PayPal Buy It Now. You would have to go into PayPal and set that up and post the appropriate URL. But then you could send notices, and you can also track how someone did pay. And then you can send follow-up emails to people who, according to this list, have not paid yet. So you could send a basic follow-up email for unpaid, or you could also send an email letting them know that they paid. This is a lot of the stuff that you see from the VPE, the president, and the secretary functions, but there's an admin console where all this stuff is controlled. And only your webmaster or whoever is in charge of your website will have access to this information here. But this is where you set up the meat of your website. Your club name, ours is Hanford Toastmasters, and we put our club number. Description, we put our location, when we meet, and a little bit of information. Come and sharpen your speaking and leadership skills. Set up your keywords. This is for information that gets embedded in the website that web crawlers such as Google or Yahoo or MSN actually look at when people search for training in Hanford or public speaking in Hanford. We also have a Navy base, so we put Navy in there, so if someone's looking for anything, it shows up in the list. There's website alias and custom web domain. If you first sign up for a site, you don't have to pay for a specific address, like we pay for hanfordtoastmasters.org, but they will give you a free URL that you could use. But it is good practice to actually get a custom URL because that looks more professional to people. Here's where you can put some information about where you're managing, that sort of thing, set your time zones. The appearance, that first front website that I showed you before is controlled under the appearance section here. Okay, I'm lying. Homepage. Now, if you notice, you can spread this out, move it around. But you need to be a little familiar with tools like Microsoft Word and that sort of thing to edit the homepage. You can insert photos. Like these are very recent photos of the club meeting that we had the other day. So we put in the pictures, put in custom information. The more custom information that you put into this sort of thing, instead of making it look templated and cookie cutter, will make it feel warmer to your guests or possible guests who come to the site. And this is all the information that is contained in there. Again, this is the kind of stuff that you can reach out for assistance on if you don't understand it, to myself, or if you have someone who's web savvy in your club, or also through the help desk that I'm going to show you here in a little bit. There are lots of helpful people in Toastmasters to help you get all that set up. If I go back into the admin console. Meeting and direction information. Make sure this is up to date and correct, and it's easy to help somebody find your club. You can go into Google and actually get this iframe. There's information here on how to do it, but this will actually make a real Google map show up on the page. And if they click on it, they can put in their address and it will give them directions to get to your club meeting. Social links, very important. Your Facebook URL, your Twitter URL, if you've got YouTube or LinkedIn or any of these things that are listed there. Further down, there's actually a location that you can put all the login information for these sites so that you don't have to try and pass that information from the Vice President of Public Relations to each person. It gives a one-stop shop for all that information. So there's usernames and logins if you go further down this page. And what happens when you edit that information and put it in there, these social media links actually show up. So if you put anything in one of those fields and save it, it will actually show up here as a social media link. And then you can click on it and go directly to the links that were provided there. The floater message is what you see when you first sign in or when you first go to the page. If you are not logged in, there will be a banner here at the top when you come in, and it'll say one thing. If you sign in as a user of the site, it'll say something different. So if you come to the site, it says, come and visit a meeting and see what Toastmasters is all about. But once you sign in, that banner changes to, remember to bring guests and keep moving forward toward achieving and exceeding your goals. The access settings I talked about earlier control who can see what in the website. And there's different areas that you can delegate access to. So select the officers allowed to access the website settings. There can be 3 officers that are selected at any given time that have permission to administer the site. Who gets access to the membership lists, to edit and modify those. You want everybody to be able to see that, but you don't want everybody to be able to edit it and modify it because that's not necessary. Your president, your vice president of education, your vice president of membership, and probably your secretary are the good list of people to have access to those. And again, there are settings for all the different areas and different officers that you can update and modify. Administrator info, I'm not going to click on that one because there are a lot of username and passwords stored there, but that is, again, another location where you can store information and set up access to the site. Website statistics gives you the ability to turn your hit counter on and off, and that is just down here at the bottom. You will see how many unique visitors to your website since you last refreshed the page. So there have been 3,382 unique visitors to the HanfordToastmasters.org website. There are one more area here that I want to talk about. You'll notice you saw all that information with the admin console, but there's different modules, so you can actually change the settings here. And the membership management area is where you can actually enter new people and set up those guests and members and prospects. But the area that I want to show you was the custom web pages. This is where you get those web pages that you saw up top here, like the Meet Our Members, which has listings of all of our different members who have chosen to make their information accessible. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But there are lists of meeting roles, and someone actually set up this site and listed all the things that a different responsibilities are. Sergeant at Arms, what the president does, the Toastmaster. Some information about the Competent Communicator program, Competent Leadership. This is the old program. And just, you can also have links to other places from there. Like you'll see that one links you to the public speaking tips directly from Toastmasters.org. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a customized area that you set up. But going back to the web pages here, you'll see what is Pathways. That's actually a link that was created in it. All the information is just the link, and when they click on it from there. But the meeting roles was set up just like that homepage area uses the same web page editing tool. And that's where all this information was put in. Just a quick tip. I actually put this in here, and I designed it in Word first and just copied and pasted it, and most of the formatting and everything carried over, so it wasn't much to edit it. And then you just go in and fill in the information. What is the title? And the title is what will show up here. And when you click on it. So like club officers, that title is what shows up here. And then you can move it around in the entries. So what number it shows up in this list. And give it a name. That's what the name actually shows up in as the web address. and you can select who has access. You can even set these to members only, so no one would be able to click on that link unless they were actually signed in as a member. But for the main menu, information here, this is all publicly accessible. The ones that you set as members only will show up in the list down here. There are a lot of different areas that can be updated and modified in this. But here is where you actually set up that agenda that we showed you before that I said I was going to come back to. So your default settings here. This is where you can set up when you can email the entire membership list what the agenda is going to look like. And this is where you set that information up. Default meeting description, this is the header that shows up on every agenda, but the agenda template is the important. So there are some default agendas. You have a 3-speaker general meeting. Someone has set up a speech contest, and there are a couple other templates that were built. But here is what your general 3-speaker meeting looks like. And then you can move these around. You can edit what the settings are, how long they are, what the role and description is, all that information in here. And that will set up that information. I am now at the 30-minute mark, and I've been talking nonstop. I actually want to open this up to questions and comments. There is one thing that I did want to bring up, though, before I go to that. There is GDPR, which is the EU's answer to privacy. Any person that you put into the system here will get an email, and they must click on that email that they accept that these people have access to their information before any information that you put into that site is visible. And that is because of the HIPAA laws and all that sort of thing. So you have to click on that link before they can get access to the site, before they can do anything in here. And let me return this back. Stop sharing here for just a minute. And I will open this up for questions. I know I went through a lot of stuff pretty quick, but that's why I gauged 30 minutes to show you some things and answer some questions if you have them. And I see a gem.
I actually need to remind them to unmute if they want to go ahead and talk too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everybody's muted currently, so if you do want to talk, you need to unmute, or you can raise your hand and we'll unmute for you.
Testing, testing.
I hear you, Jim. What's up?
Nothing, just checking.
As fast as I went through that, I know there's got to be some questions. Anything?
Okay, this is Marcia.
Hey, Marcia.
Hello. When, because for Greg, I've sent him 2 emails out, and he says he can't get in there. And I have the line going across his name in the members, list of members.
Okay.
What do I do there?
So Greg is saying that he's not receiving the emails.
Or
So-
he said it wouldn't take his login and password, I
That
guess.
is correct. I tried a few days ago and it would not allow me to log into the Central Valley Toastmasters site. I can try it again now. Maybe it was delayed.
Well, so here, let me log out and let me show you a quick little thing here. Let me log out as site admin as well, and let me share the screen again.
Because I'm fairly familiar with Toast Host, but I couldn't even get into access to try to update my my profile.
So what should happen here is you click member login and enter your name, and it shows up here in the list.
That's what I was trying to do, but
Okay.
it wouldn't show up.
Don't put a password. Oh, it won't show up even in
at
the
all.
menu?
And I didn't put a password. I just clicked authenticate login, and it wouldn't let me.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. But when you type your name in here, it didn't even show up in the drop down?
No, I'll try it. No, it wouldn't.
Okay. Hold on. Let me stop sharing here because I'm going in an area where you guys don't need to see. But I want to see if there's a way to send that. I have a feeling that request for allowing access to your information has to be sent again, and I bet that's in a different area.
And I'm gonna check my email. So what should I'll look at my spam. What would it be under? Who would be the sender?
It would probably be from whatever your website is. So like ours is HanfordToastmasters.org. So whatever your site is where the email will be coming from.
All right, I'm gonna try this. Meetup, membership. Okay, all it is I just got a membership. I just got an email from Toastmasters International saying your membership application's been accepted. That was September 22nd. Haven't gotten the other email.
Okay, so you haven't got any email from them.
No.
So, let's see. This might be something we have to look at and take offline minutes and stuff me on the first question.
Yeah, Adam, I've had that problem before too, and I end up having to delete the person and reconfirm their email and start over again.
So that's fine for a new user, but a existing user is you're going to delete all their information out of the system if you do that.
So maybe what we need to do is call Toastmasters International and see.
So hold on, Toastmasters International has nothing to do with this site, believe it or not.
Okay, then.
But there is.
Okay, see, I have him listed as Gregory Morrow 73 at yahoo.com.
Oh, it's Greg Morrow 73.
Oh, so how do I delete this?
You shouldn't need to delete it. You should just be able to update it.
It just has a line through it, so it won't let me. Okay, I check on it, and I tried to edit it, and it won't do anything. It's like it's.
Oh, okay. Yep. No, you're right. You are going to have to delete it. So if you click on the person.
And it won't let me delete. It just has a check mark there, and then the rest is blank in there, kind of. You could read under it. You know, it's like a piece of paper over the top that you could see through.
So hold on. So you're logged in as a member. Let me log in as well.
I'm logged in as administrator.
Oh, you are logged as administrator. Okay. So if you launch the admin console and go to membership management, and he's under the members tab there, right?
Right.
So there's a checkbox next to his name.
And I check that.
You check that, and then you go up to the top, and it says select people and select a tool. There's a delete.
Select people, okay. And then there I can delete and re-add. Let's see. Delete people. Okay.
Yep, delete people.
Okay.
Oh, and I noticed something from here, too. If that information was correct and they hadn't got the email, there's an option here to resend the opt-in email. And that's
I did do that. Do that, and I sent it twice.
Right, but since that email address is wrong, some Gregory Morrow in
Okay.
Lumsville,
Okay,
Idaho.
so now I'll go to the quick add and do this then. Now, name,
So while you're entering that information, I'm going to go ahead and show something here. Okay, good. There's nobody in this area, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. If someone has not got their, this is just for public information. If there was a person here who had the strike through because they couldn't find the email or they deleted it, you can actually resend the opt-in emails again from right here. So under the membership management, logged in as administrator, you can click on the user's name and then select the resend opt-in emails. Or you can send another email to them too after they've opted in to get information. Oh. Just in case, also, if you think maybe there is a problem with the emails getting to the person, it's not just not getting in their spam, but maybe it's getting blocked or you have a wrong address. There's actually an email address checker built into this system here. So you could click on the person and the tool, and you can actually run an email address checker, and it will come back and tell you if there's a problem with the email address. So there.
Okay, can I ask first? Do I do Greg space Morrow for? Because I'm not looking at in the examples right now for the name. What do I do?
You probably can't have a space in an email.
Okay,
address,
no
so,
space.
Yeah.
No space. So I put Greg Morrow, then space, then his email.
Wait. So you're doing a quick add?
Uh-huh.
Hold on, let me go back here to the quick add. Yeah. So it would be.
I don't remember I did it before, but.
Oh, okay. So you would type Greg, Greg, space Morrow. If you notice, there's an example right here at the bottom on how it should be formatted.
Okay, and then Greg, your email is at Yahoo? Are you there, Greg?
Yes, I am correct.
At yahoo.com?
Yes, I typed it in the chat box.
Okay.
If you look at the chat box, it's there.
Okay, I see. Okay, then space, and do you want your phone number there?
Yes, for the other members, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so 559.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the rest of it?
There you go. I sent it privately.
Okay. Okay. So I just did that and save.
Thanks, Adam.
Yep.
Okay, so you should get it now.
Awesome. I will check.
One of the other things that's interesting on the site here is the mentor protege request form. So this from here, the person can actually request, I would like to mentor a new member, or I would like to mentor a more experienced member, or I'm a new member who would like to be assigned a mentor. And then you can put in when they're available and any other information and submit it. And I believe that goes to the VP of E that will actually send an email if someone fills in information here. So just an easy way for somebody to request that they need a mentor. Now, you'll notice when I logged in as an admin the first time, I got a pop-up window. And this is actually set up by the free Toast admins And it tells you when they add new features or when they've made changes or that sort of thing. So if they've added a new feature or they put in a little information here when they did it. Like the latest feature they added was the option on the meeting sign-up sheet feature to allow to include a row at the bottom, including names of members who are not going to be attending a meeting. That was a new feature they just added, and this is how they told us that they added it. You can clear them and close them. I like to keep them, so I just keep them and close it because I don't always read through all the information there at the time when I log in. Sometimes I go back. Now, I was going to told you I was going to show you. So Free Toast Host is actually Toastmastersclubs.org. And I'm going to send maybe. Oh, there we go. I apologize. I'm not 100% familiar with Zoom yet. I did this earlier, but now that I'm sharing, it's anyway, I'll send these links, toastmastersclubs.org. And this is the people who actually run Free Toast Host. So it's called Free Toast Host 3, actually. It's been around since 2004. And there are 11,000 Toastmasters clubs around the world that are using these free websites. If you don't have one already, from this website is where you can request one. You put in your club number, your name, your email address, and submit a request. And they will set up the website for you if there isn't one already. And there's a quick start guide that walks you through how to apply for the site, getting it set up. And then there is a new member welcome. And this will walk you through how to use the site. There's a forum if you get stuck or if there is something strange happening that you don't think should be happening, you can actually submit requests here. Send evaluations, improvements, or suggestions. Maybe there's a feature you'd like to see added that you think would be beneficial to everybody. This is where you could send those. Also, you have to sign up here for an account. This isn't tied to your Free Toast Host club account. This is a separate account to ask questions. Before you ask a question here, just make sure you search to see if someone else has already had the same question. So go here and search. They really don't like it very much when you do that. When you ask the same question that's already been asked a million times. If you manage to lock out your administrator account, this is also where you would go to get that reset. Really try not to lock out your administrator account. That causes a lot of problems, and it's kind of a pain to get it unlocked. You have to log in, register for support, and then go through these guys to get access again. There are video user guides. So if you need more information than what I provided here, or step-by-step on how to set things up, I was trying to just give a general overview, but these are much more structured with presentations and that sort of thing. I also want to give everybody a chance to ask any questions if they had it.
Well, the link was sent to me and I was successfully able to log in. So thanks, Adam.
Yep. So the new features, Caroline, was when I showed when you could edit the, or when you could get the evaluation form for pathways. One of the other ones was the quick setup, the quick role sign up. The mentor protege request form is fairly new. It's been around for a little while now. And the other thing I can show you is that who's going to be at a meeting and who's not. So let me go back to that and I'll share that. Oh, yeah, there's one other feature here too. Let me go ahead and share again. So down here at the bottom, all the meeting notes that have been entered for this meeting will show up down here in a list. You can, as the administrator, I can create other I can create notes for anybody. If you're logged in as just a user, you can only create notes for yourself. You can upload meeting minutes and other attachments here. So this is kind of nice. You could actually go through and update if you had a Word document with the meeting notes, and you could add them here and attach them to the meeting, and people could go back and pull that information. One of the things you can also do is you could upload the officers meeting minutes, except for closed door items, of course. But that way anyone would have information about what's going on in the club, because that should not be private information. And then, Dennis, you might have to help me here on where the location of who was here and who wasn't actually is added.
Yeah, go back to the top. Yeah, hit the pencil at the top of the agenda. There's that pencil in that bar.
Oh, there we go.
And then there's attendance.
So from here, you can actually go back in after the meeting and update if the person was there or not. And then there's actually a record of who was there and who was not. You can also add any of your former members or your club members. And then you can actually, once you've gone back through and updated it, you can click it as reconciled. So that becomes the official record of who was in that meeting.
So you can add guests there too?
I think they have to be previously entered in the list. I don't think you can enter them directly.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you can. It looks like they have to be in that list already. And they have to be a member or a former member. It doesn't, the guests don't show up in the list. That would be where if you wanted to put in your guests, you can come back down here and add a note. We actually have a person created in our list called guest, so we can actually have guests who want to do roles. Like sometimes we have them do the inspirational thoughts or the word of the day, and we can just select guest, and that will show up here in the list so that oh, we didn't have any guests giving anything this time, but they could show up with and do it. And here you could actually add a note for guest and list all the guests who showed up at your meeting if you wanted to keep track of what guests were at what meeting. Again, I mean, this is your website. Put it whatever information you want to be able to go back and look at information that you might need later.
Caroline had a question about putting in who won the awards too. That would be the place to do it.
Yes. So you could do that, or you could also upload a meeting minutes with who won what. But that might not be a bad idea as something to add as a feature. So maybe put in a feature request for Free Toast Host to have a new column added here on winner of table topics, winner of best speaker, winner of best evaluator. They might say no, but you never know until you ask. But I am actually going to try and get in the habit of starting to put a note in there on who won what. Because then as the secretary, I can always go back and look. So when I do my secretary's report, I have that information ready.
Hey, Adam, can you show the club calendar in the upper part of the left-hand bar? Yeah, that one. Club calendar.
Okay. So the club calendar is interesting. It has what you've set as your club meeting time. And also there is some stuff kind of built into it already, like dues already. If there are...
Actually, I did them as an admin. The red ones are admin entered.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So the blue ones are entered by default.
Yeah.
And if you'll notice here, we actually have club socials every so often, and those are actually entered in here too. Where do you go to enter that information? So member added events, administrator, you're at a club meeting.
Yeah, if a member can just click on any day of the week and click on it, and then it'll be the pink.
Oh, okay. I assume you have to be signed in as a member to be able to modify this stuff?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And since I'm signed in as administrator as well, it actually gives me the option to add the events as the administrator.
Yeah. Which will make them red.
Yep. Oh, that's nice to know. And this, you could actually go forward in time here too.
Yeah, the blue ones won't show up unless you've already created an agenda.
Ah, okay. So that's what triggers this. So when you create an agenda under the agenda area, it shows up on the club calendar. All right, we are down to 3 minutes. You should enter the district conference and area contest. You are correct.
It's already
Yeah.
in there. It's
Oh,
already been
okay.
done on ours.
So again, each club will have to enter that information specifically for their own club. But they did make it very easy. If you just click on the date, you can enter the information and you've got your information good to go there. So. Anything I missed from your point of view there, Dave?
Just one thing I might want to mention. I know you said you can send emails to all members and to all officers. And we've had an instance or two where somebody, when they received that, they replied back thinking they were sending it only to the person who sent the email. And there may have been some semi-confidential information in there. So our administrator set it so that replies would only go back to the sender. I don't know if you know how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it, but it's
I do.
kind of an important thing, I think.
Yeah, it is. Hold on, let me pull that up and then I will show them how to do that. So I skipped an area. You actually pointed that out just now. There was one more section in the administrator console, email and contact forms. And this is where you set up that security. So recipient of replies to members email list emails. So you can actually, this is where you would set just to the sender or to all members.
Okay.
If you don't change that, it takes the defaults. And the defaults, I believe, are reply to all. So that's probably not a bad idea to change those so that it only goes back to the sender and not the entire group. So if you want to send to the group, you need to send another email to the group replying. There's a couple of other interesting things here. You could actually set up an email address that got all of the emails that were sent through Free Toast Host to an archival type setup. It sounds great on paper, except you start getting into the GDPR and the HIPAA and all those different laws about how long you're supposed to keep information. Some information is supposed to only be kept 60 days, 90 days, 6 months. or in perpetuity, and you start getting yourself into dicey waters if you use this setup. One of the things that's really nice is you can actually set up the prefix subjects of the emails. So any email that comes from Free Toast Host that's been, they call it a relay, it's an email relay, will get Hanford Toastmasters appended to the front in brackets. Makes it easy to search for it. It also makes it easy to set up rules on your filter so it doesn't end up in your spam, that sort of thing. Under email security, there's a lot of security built into Free Toast Host by default to stop people from emailing addresses that shouldn't be able to. However, you can put in email addresses that keep getting flagged for some reason that shouldn't be. You can whitelist them. Or the same way you can blacklist them, an email that even if it thinks that it should be allowed, you can blacklist it here that it still gets dropped and blocked. And you can do it from an email address or an entire domain. So maybe there's a North Korea domain that keeps sending spam emails to you. You can actually put that email, like as it shows there, at baddomain.com, and anything that comes from that domain will get blocked. And there is a crowdsourced blacklist that is set up here by default, and that is a publicly made available list of known bad addresses. So this is maintained different types of email addresses that have been already blacklisted that we know are spam or worse. And there's, like I said, there's all kinds of security that you can wrap around all this stuff. And something I didn't mention here, none of these email addresses are actually maintained storage by Free Toast Host. They're all just relay addresses. So if president at HanfordToastmasters.org doesn't have the mailbox, all it does is it just takes whatever email is sent to it and forwards it to your email address that was set up in the website. So right now it shows that Amanda Carey is the president. So if someone emails the president, it will get sent to Amanda Carey's email address that is in the membership list. And vice versa, any of these lists. There is a contact us form on the website, and you can set it up that anyone who clicks on the contact us, it'll pop up and have them put in their information, and it'll take that information, email it to the president, the vice president membership, and the secretary in this case. You can have it to 3 different people. And that also sets up a contact at HanfordToastmaster.org email address that people can send emails to directly. And then that mentoring form we talked about, here's where you would set up who receives those emails. Vice President of Education in this case is set up, but you could have it as the president or any other member. And the person that has been set up in this gets access to assign the mentors tool, which I haven't seen because I am not the Vice President of Education. But yeah, thanks, David. That's where that whole setting area was set up at. All right. Anything else? Going once? Going twice?
So we got something on chat. Let's see. We got, okay. All right.
Just thank you for coming in.
Yep. All right. Thank you very much, Adam. Very informative. I learned a few extra things that I haven't seen on there yet. So this will be.
I'm gonna give you the secret about me being an IT and a tech and all that stuff. is I click on everything and I dig around. That's how I figure out how to do 90% of the stuff.
To explore.
Yeah.
Well, we learned a host of things about it today.
we can't go through an entire thing with you without a pun.
Of
Yeah.
course not. I just have to be selective about when I deliver them for effect.
Right. Yep. It was all for free today too, huh?
Yes, it was free, and Adam was a great host. Let's give a toast to the host.
Oh,
Yeah,
here we go.
Have a good night.
You too,
All right.
you guys. See you all. We'll see you all later. Thanks, Adam.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Adam. This has been recorded and it will be uploaded probably later on this evening or tomorrow.
Hold on just 1 second. We have been asked to mention the next webinar.
Yes, that'll be in roughly not quite 2 weeks. Let's see, when is it?
Is it the
Let me see.
Pathways webinar?
Yeah, and I think
I'm looking on the calendar. It is Division G webinar for Pathways. It will be at the same time on the 20th.
right.
So
Okay.
4 p.m. Pacific.
All right. Thank you very much. And I think that's
Right.
probably about it. All right. Thanks. We'll be signing this off. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
All right.